Alright, so we got the full summary for chapter 1055 here. I'm going over the entire chapter. A lot of stuff here that we weren't able to go over in my previous video, so let's just get right into it. Chapter starts in the flower capital. Nami, Tama, and Zeus are enjoying the party and the food. Outside the city, Momonosuke is beaten by Ryokuyu. Yamato wants to go help him, but Momonosuke insists that she must stay out of the fight. Raizo uses his technique Ninpo Maki Maki no Jutsu to shoot a fire attack at Ryokuyu. Ryokuyu acts as if he's affected by Raizo's attack, but he is joking, but then uses his technique Fireproof Forest and breaks free from the flames. Then he says, "You really thought you'd be able to defeat a Marine Admiral by relying on such an obvious weakness?" So that's a little twist. I for sure thought that fire, naturally was going to be his weakness since he's a forest man, but it's also completely understandable that he has an out to this because, he is an admiral after all and painfully aware of a weakness that he would have, so he would have a contingency for it. Hey, also guys, if you like my One Piece content, please subscribe if you haven't already. There's no break next week, so I'll definitely be dropping a video as soon as we get the 1056 spoilers next week. Thanks. Ryokuyu stabs Raizo's body with one of his branches and starts sucking out Raizo's nutrients. Kawamatsu tries to help him, but no matter how much branches and roots he cuts, they don't stop growing. Finally, Ryokuyu catches Denjiro, Kawamatsu, and Nekomamushi. So that's where the little encounter is going to end for now. We're going to come back to it a little later, but yeah, Ryokuyu, as he says, is a Marine Admiral. He's a friggin' beast, so he could, pretty easily fight most of the scabbards here by himself. Cut to the secret room of Kozuki Sukiyaki. We see at a secret passageway that leads to a long staircase has been opened in the ground. Sukiyaki and Robin are walking down the stairs with Law. Robin asks Law if he has managed to follow her by her scent. Law says he's not a hyena. Law couldn't find Robin with her Nakamas at the party, so he searched for her. Sukiyaki says he never told Kaido and Orochi about this passageway, but since one of the important members of the Beast Pirates, Jack, is a Gyojin, which is a fishman, it didn't take long for them to find the Poneglyph. Robin asks why a fishman would be able to find it. Sukiyaki tells her that it's better they see for themselves. Sukiyaki starts to tell the story of Wano, but Robin interrupts him when she sees a light coming from a hole in the passageway. Robin asks, "What is that?" Sukiyaki tells her that she can go see what is there because a glass blocks the water, since they are now at the depth at the bottom of the sea. Robin crawls through the hole, and Law teleports with her. They both look through the glass and see the ruins of an ancient city under the sea. Sukiyaki tells them that the ruins are the other land of Wano that existed about 800 years ago. Thanks to it not being seawater, the ruins were preserved in good condition. Sukiyaki explains what happened to the ancient Wano. This scene has some panels to show us what happened. A long time ago, Wano was a large country, about 3 times larger than the present Wano. It was located at the bottom of Mount Fuji, at the same level than the sea. But hey guys, real quick, GamerSupps Christmas in July sale has started today, and it's going to be running till the 31st. And one of the main things that I see here is that if you spend $35, you get a free Shark Girl cup. This is like a really good deal actually. So check out my link in the description, or you can just use code BIGZ. And while you're there, maybe pick up some strawberry lemonade GamerSupps or some peach tea. These are currently what I'm drinking, but they have other great flavors too. Thanks guys. Then at one point in its history, the Great Walls that surround the island were built, and the country was locked up. Rainwater began to accumulate and flooded the entire country. After that, rainwater reached the highest part of the walls, and the water began to fall from them, creating the Great Waterfalls, the ones that Luffy or Big Mom pirates had to climb. People decided to abandon the original Wano and built a new country around the mountainside of Mount Fuji, which is the current Wano. So that's the explanation for the creation of Wano, at least for the most part. Why there are walls around it like that, and also the water inside of it is apparently rainwater, as well as like the waterfalls and how that works and whatnot. The group reached the bottom of the stairs, and Sukiyaki opens a secret door that gives them access to a large room where the road Poneglyph is. Robin says that if they can find one more, they will be able to travel to Laugh Tale. So this is finally it. This is where the road Poneglyph at Wano is located. And as Robin says, all they need is one more, because they had Big Mom's road Poneglyph, they had the one from the whale tree on Zoe, and now they they have this. But the fourth one is still MIA. It was originally on Fishman Island, but then it went missing, so, you know, that's going to be something they're going to be looking for afterwards, I guess. Sukiyaki says that this room is in a high platform inside the cave at Mount Fuji's base, and deep below is the ancient weapon Pluton. However, Sukiyaki has never seen the weapon, so he cannot show Robin and Law where it is. Sukiyaki says in order to bring Pluton out, the walls of Wano Kuni must be taken down. In other words, opening the border is to destroy the defensive walls of this country, and it means unleashing the ancient weapon. So this is where Pluton is too, or kind of. And we only found out, you know, 2 chapters ago that Pluton was in Wano in the first place, and we, you know, speculated that, like, oh, it's probably, you know, somewhere beneath the walls or in the walls or whatever. And yeah, it turns out that that's more or less the case. And it seems like that's why the walls were built in the first place. Considering that it happened like 800 years ago, you know, when the whole big original war started, which led to the Void Century and everything, I assume Joy Boy and his boys were able to hide Pluton away from Imu and the world government, and they chose Wano to be the place where they were going to keep it. Robin wonders why Kozuki Oden wanted to do something like that. Sukiyaki says that he told them everything that has been passed down through the Shogun's family, but he also says, I don't know what Oden discovered in his journey at sea. So that's good, I guess, because if Sukiyaki knew the secrets of Laugh Tale, that would kind of be problematic at this point in the story. Because, you know, Oden successfully went to Laugh Tale with Roger and his crew. Back to the outside of the flower capital, Ryokyu's trapped the Red Scabbards in Yamato and tells them that they can't do anything against Mother Nature. Ryokyu says that if Kaido had continued in the country, he wouldn't have come. Kaido's reign is what kept enemies away from Wano. Ryokyu says to bring him, Straw Hat Luffy. When he takes his head, he will leave the country. Yamato tells Momonosuke they should ask Luffy and the rest for help, since they won't lose against a guy like this. Momonosuke, crying, says that he doesn't need Luffy or Yamato's help, so he asks Yamato not to offer her help anymore. Momonosuke says, you've been locked up in Onigashima all your life, but now you're free, and that's why I want you to leave. Luffy, Zoro, and the others, I can't always count on their help. We have to be able to defend ourselves against all enemies. With the people of this country, we can't entrust it to those who are about to leave. If we do, how can we protect our country in the future? Ryokyu mocks Momonosuke's childish attitude and says that he never thought a dragon would be so embarrassing. In a moment of desperation, Momonosuke manages to shoot a bolo breath that passes through Ryokyu's tree body. The Red Scabbards and Yamato break free, and Ryokyu looks at Momonosuke. He can't believe what happened. Yamato cannot believe that Momonosuke has mastered the power of the dragon. Denjiro says that Momonosuke is not aiming very well. Momonosuke shoots another bolo breath at Ryokyu and burns his body. However, a small plant grows behind Ryokyu's burned body, and Ryokyu grows up from it again, and he transforms again to continue the battle. So there's the big sequence fully playing out here. This led to some controversy the last 2 days, I guess, because at first it was, I don't know, kind of portrayed that Momonosuke was just embarrassing Ryokyu here, which he's not, but he's doing way better than technically he should be. But he is a bad matchup for him. The bolo breath is definitely detrimental to Ryokyu's fruit ability here, regardless of the contingency that he showed earlier in the chapter. But I also like how he's able to like regrow himself despite like his main body or whatever he was using was destroyed. Naturally, because he's a Logia after all. We've just never really seen it used like this. We've only seen it, you know, like from fire and water and electricity and other things like that. Ryokyu says, well, if that's the game you want to play, fine, you Kaido wannabe. I'm going to pierce you through the mouth to the tail. Suddenly, black lightning can be seen in the distance. Ryokyu feels something is paralyzing him and he screams in pain. Then Ryokyu says, wait, that's Conqueror's Haki. Who the heck are you? What? Red Air Pirates? And they're this close? Red Air Pirate ship is still in the sea near Wano. Some of their members ask Shanks to stop or all the rookies are going to faint. Shanks says, I won't say you're despicable, but a Marine targeting those new leaves that just changed pirate history, I think is tasteless. As Shanks says this, we can see some of his memories together with Luffy. When Luffy cuts on his face, Momonosuke as a child together with Oden, Yuri at her birth, and we also see a silhouette that seems to be Yuta, the character from One Piece Lucasfilm Red, who is Shanks' daughter. Then we see a close-up panel of Shanks. He's very angry. Shanks says, "Are you that afraid of the coming new era?" Ryokyu returns to his normal form and says that he has no intention of fighting Shanks and his crew, at least not now. Yamato celebrates with Momonosuke and the Red Scabbards. Momonosuke cries with joy. So, whoa, that was crazy, right? So obviously we can't see the panels yet, so it's a little difficult to make out exactly what's happening here, but is Shanks like somehow telepathically communicating with Ryokyu here? Like through some kind of hockey telepathy? Because clearly it's letting us know that Shanks is still in the distance where we saw him in the previous chapter. And also the black lightning, which is indicative of Conqueror's Haki, is seen in the distance as well. But still, Ryokyu is somehow paralyzed by this. So could this be like another advanced application of Conqueror's Haki? As to where you can just like influence somebody from a distance, not even just looking at them, like the traditional application of it. And if that's the case, that's pretty awesome. And I think it's a great way for Oda to advance the power system here. I always assumed that Shanks was going to be like a master of Conqueror's Haki for sure, right? I'm sure most of us did. But I thought more so it was going to be like how we see him use it in the video game, like in a tangible offensive sense. But him using it like this, like mentally manipulating you, is pretty incredible as well. In the Flower Capital, we see that Brook, Usopp, Chopper, and Frankie are still in the party with Hiyori and Toko. Outside of the city, we see Luffy is sitting on the ground with Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei. Luffy says he's gone, and Sanji says looks like they didn't need our help. Zoro says, "Momo, I'm impressed." Jinbei says, "But that haki has been impressive." Luffy says, "I know, what was that?" And at the end of the chapter, Luffy smiles while he sees Red Hair Pirates' ship is moving away from Wano. Luffy says, "Somehow a familiar face popped up in my mind." So this is a pretty amazing ending here. The Straw Hats were definitely aware of what was going on, which makes sense because, you know, after all, it was going on right outside of the Flower Capital, and they were kind of on board with like the citizens of Wano, especially Momo, the new shogun, to take care of things. I mean, Luffy didn't want to take credit for defeating Kaido in the first place, but him seeing Shanks by feeling the haki, I think, is also showing us more of this advanced application of it, and this is going to go further into maybe even Luffy adopting this himself eventually, which I'm pretty sure he will. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the chapter, guys. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. And if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.